Hey there, creepy peeps. My name is Maven, and I like to talk about horror, which is mostly movies, but that also includes books. If you're new here, I hope you did the required reading before clicking on this video. If you're returning, just go ahead and share with the new peeps. Okay, great, thanks. So one of my lovely patrons, Melissa, aka Graveyard A Go-Go, as you've probably seen her in the comments, had a great video idea to talk about horror books that I think should be turned into movies. And any chance that I get to talk about books outside of my monthly wrap-ups is beautiful. I will take it. Speaking of patrons, I want to say a quick thank you to my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep yourself, the link is always in the description. So first up is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. This book follows a huge crew made up of journalists, scientists, filmmakers, everybody pretty much, on this expedition to the Mariana Trench to find out what happened to an ill-fated crew years prior who were killed viciously by something that came out of the water. I feel like this would be one of those really great like summer ocean terror blockbuster type movies. Ones that have a healthy dose of fun and of scares. It would be super unique because how many times have you seen a movie or anything really involving killer mermaids? Like ever.
Oh, come on.
It also has a diverse cast of characters with disabilities, LGBTQ+ characters. I'm not saying this book is perfect, but it's pretty damn close. I just think it would be really awesome to see a killer mermaid something on the big screen. And this is quite a bloody book as well. There's a good healthy dose of gore, and I think that would make it a fun watch also. Like, it's terrifying to think about, but also a little bit fun. And plus the ocean is just scary, like in and of itself. I think I may have mentioned wanting to see this book adapted previously, but it bears repeating. I would so love to see a movie for Hex by Thomas Oldhoyvelt. So the book follows this town that's being held hostage kind of by the 17th century witch who was cursed to just roam around the area with her eyes and mouth sewn shut, and she's got shackles on her wrists and feet. Kind of just blindly wanders around the town every so often, and that's just horrifying imagery in and of itself. Like, just imagine like waking up in the middle of the night and she's just like in the corner of your room. But you have the town leaders like desperately trying to keep their curse from spreading. So they do a pretty good job of this until one day a bunch of teenagers decide to expose their town's curse and expose the witch and film her and put it on the internet, and it goes viral and everything starts to unravel. It's just a really unique premise. Like I said, the imagery of just like a shriveled corpse with its eyes and mouth sewn shut wandering around the town would just be really scary. And then as the book goes on, like the threads and her chains slowly start to become like undone one by one, and that's just like the tension building, and that is just it's like it just keeps you on edge. The description of the town and the witch in the book just seems so cinematic to me. I just feel like it would just be perfect for the big screen. I also get like Stephen King vibes from this book without being like 1,000 pages long. I just think there's a lot in here that horror fans would really love. The next book I would really love to see adapted to film is We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. The story follows Chris, who is the former guitarist of a mildly popular 90s metal band. So Chris is not living her best life. She's getting older. She's not doing the job she wants to be doing, and then she finds out one of her former bandmates is having a comeback, which starts to lead Chris to believe that her bandmate's meteoric solo career after leaving their band may or may not have had something to do with him stealing hers and her bandmates' souls. I really love this play on, you know, the old cliche that metal bands worship Satan or whatever. I feel like Grady Hendrix plays around with that trope in a really fun way while still delivering scares. And I just feel like Grady Hendrix is just really great at writing female characters in general. Every book I've read of his so far, it's just been really good. Especially like Chris as a protagonist, because she's not a spring chicken. I feel like most media, like movies, TV shows, books, tend to focus on women and young girls like in their teenage years or their 20-somethings, and then after that it seems like nobody really cares about telling the stories of women who are maybe over 30 or over 40, over 50. And that's not to say Chris is old in this book. She's older, but she still kicks ass, and it's I don't know, I really appreciated that. I would also really love to see this adapted, because I feel like we haven't had like a fun metal-based horror movie since Deathgasm. And it would just be really awesome to see the like original songs in the book like actually set to music and to be able to hear them. The next book I would really love to see made into a movie is Broken Monsters by Lauren Bucas. This book follows a detective, her daughter, a journalist, a bunch of other people who all find themselves wrapped up in the activities of a serial killer who is roaming around the Detroit art scene, possessed with this idea to violently remake the world. I don't think the multiple character POVs in this book would necessarily translate well to the screen, but I feel like the story itself is quite perfect to be made into a movie. There would have to be some finagling with this one, but I think it could work. I feel like the antagonist in this book, our serial killer, is also pretty, I wouldn't say like the most unique, but he's an artist, and he, you know, leaves pieces of corpses, whole corpses, displayed in ways that are meant to convey a message that is quite terrifying. There's a lot more going on behind that I don't want to give away, but it goes deeper than just your run-of-the-mill serial killer. I think it would make a really creepy story, and it just, for whatever reason, just, it gives me that feeling that I think fans of movies like Saw would really, really like this. Don't ask me for specifics on why, it's just a feeling. And finally, this last one might actually be a shocker to any of my creepy book club peeps that remember reading this, but I would actually really like to see Horror Show by Greg Keane adapted for the big screen. The book starts off with a reporter who goes to visit a legendary 50s horror filmmaker to talk about his legacy and this one particular movie that they made, Cadaver, which was just riddled with controversy, and so the reporter wants to dig deeper. So the book is pretty much all told in flashback from this filmmaker's point of view, and he is like kind of reliving that moment in his life. There's a huge supernatural element to this. I feel like this would be really awesome to see on the screen, like the old school 50s horror vibes are immaculate. I feel like very retro. We like it. I feel like it would just work really well. It tells the story kind of people we would recognize without actually naming their names, if that makes sense. So there's a character in here who's obviously supposed to be modeled after Bela Lugosi. There's another character who's very clearly supposed to be modeled after Vampira. Maybe in an Ed Wood type of way, like very Ed Wood. But instead of being like a dark comedy, it's more like a supernatural kind of thing going on. Yes. So there you have it. Those are just some horror books that I have on my shelf that I think would make amazing, amazing horror movies. So let's all tag Blumhouse in the comments and see if Jason Blum can get on that for us. Let me know any horror books that you love, that you would really like to see adapted to film, and why in the comments as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a Creepy Peep today. I post 2 new videos a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So I'll see you next week with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.